my story is about working for money, but you guys all worked really hard for your swimming in ice. That's lunacy. Like I would only do that to impress someone I had a crush on. But it was, no, I've not done anything like that. This is a story about how when I was, I guess, 18 or 19, I worked at Starbucks in Miami, which is a really big deal for someone who grew up in North York to go to another country and work at Starbucks. But a friend of mine whose parents had a condo in Miami that they didn't use, it was like hard life. Yeah. They were like, why don't you girls go down and get jobs in Miami and live there and work? And I was like, that sounds great. And I just have to say, I mean, this friend who I had this opportunity with, we don't talk anymore, which is really kind of a bummer. This story is really an ode to her. She's a really great person. So we went down to Miami. I was supposed to get a job with a company that didn't work out. I was 18 or 19. I was like, that's okay. I'm going to get a job working with something like cool, like Cuban refugees or like Arianne Gonzalez or something. But they weren't hiring anyone for that. So I worked at Starbucks. And the thing, has anyone here ever worked at Starbucks? Yes, excellent news. Oh, a couple. So you also are my fellow colleagues of graduates of Coffee College, which you have to do when you work at Starbucks. It's so hideous. So I get a job at Starbucks, but I mean, because I'm Canadian, I don't have dual citizenship. I had a visa. And they hired me, which was so surprising because if they looked at my visa, they would see it expired in October and it was July. But they hired me anyways. And they're like, we really want someone long-term, really committed. I was like, I'm totally committed to working in this strip mall in Miami, like next to the Gold's Gym or whatever. Is that the name of that gym? Yeah, it's like with the, anyway, I hated it. So I get this job and I go to Coffee College and I have to wear a uniform, which I have never cared for. I do not like it when people tell me what to wear. Like, I really think it's a form of systemic violence, which more of you should have addressed in your stories and your jobs. I'm also big on justice. So I had to wear, there was a couple traumatic parts about working for Starbucks. One of them was having, and this was like late 90s, you have to wear khaki pants. This is before, my friends, the advent of a nice flat front. These are pleated khaki pants that you can buy them from wherever, but at the mall in Miami, they like, where do you like Banana Republic or like it was trauma. Pleated pants on like a short torsoed person. Nobody wants to see that. So there's a counter, which helps, but I'm in Coffee College in the khaki pants and I'm trying to get my Arianne Gonzalez out. And I was just like, where's the coffee from, by the way? I have a question. Is this fair trade coffee? And they were like, excuse me? And I was basically told to stick to the script of questions, which is all about pleasing the customer. And I got to say, Starbucks is actually kind of a good company. There was a woman I worked with who was trying to adopt a baby, and they were helping her adopt a baby. Like, there's like benefits to working at Starbucks. I'm really sorry. So you can get a baby if you work at Starbucks, but I didn't want a baby. You can also get free drinks. You're also not allowed to question what happens to the leftover pastries because, of course, I was like, well, let's make a partnership with the local shelters. And they're like, we can't. So any altruistic impulses that I had about being in Miami, I don't know why I thought that would be fulfilled there. Were not fulfilled. And so I made a little bit of I went down there to make some money, in Miami, and it was the US dollar and my khakis and stuff. And, and also I was 18 or 19, so we could go and have fun. I had a fake ID, which was really the most illegal thing I've ever done, I think. And so sometimes we'd go to South Beach, my friend and I, which was my worst nightmare realized. Truly, truly. I was not a drinker. I am now. Mostly thanks to this bar. By the way, I'm the only woman who has a tab here on the iPad. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's cool or embarrassing, but now you know. So if I was me now in Miami, I'd probably have a really fun time. But I was more shy, and I didn't like going dancing at the clubs there. one time a dude like stuck his hand up my skirt. And I was like horrified. I was like, this is clearly a place filled with like STDs and self-loathing. I'm just going to take my Starbucks earning and get takeout sushi and watch MTV. Real World. It's a really good show. Seattle. Good season. So that's what I did. And I went to work every day. I opened the shop at 6 a.m. We had like an infestation once. I'm just remembering this in this very moment. We had an infestation of termites, but everywhere. They're siccating. So not only did I have to deal with like these Gold's Gym guys that would come in and be like, hey, can I get a venti frappuccino? And be like, why would you drink that when you just worked out for 3 hours? It's like filled with fat and cancer. Like, I don't understand why you would do that. But venti is the big one. Whatever. Termites. We kept the store open. There was termites flying out of cups everywhere. We just couldn't miss a sale. Starbucks was having a hard time apparently in Miami, and we couldn't close for one day. And the thing about Miami, too, is that you have, like, the old people, and then you have the young people on South Beach, like Will Smith in his music videos. And then you also have, like, Argentinians with lots of money that come and apparently feed their children cappuccinos, like small children. So there's just, like, all kinds of strangeness happening. And because I figured out that I was, like, not a party girl, when I had breaks, I just walked up the street and I went to the Rascal House, which is a deli where old Jewish people go, like all the time. And I would sit there, young, vibrant person in khakis, pleated khakis, hating myself. I'd sit and I'd like get a soup. Also, the thing you do at Rascal House is they have like bowls of bread, but you're totally allowed to put them in your purse, like they expect it. So, you know, I also worked for my money and was very, you know, what's the word, savvy when I needed to be. That's how we got bread. It's for me on my lunch breaks at the Rascal House next to old ladies who were just like ordering these smoked meat sandwiches and making sure it was like extra fatty. That was their thing. They wanted like tongue sandwiches and smoked meat sandwiches extra fatty. So this is my time in Miami. Starbucks, pleated, no South Beach, MTV. And what was happening within the internal culture of Starbucks and me working at this job is that people really liked me, which was so surprising because I really didn't enjoy them. And I like actually most people, but I didn't like them. And one of the reasons why is because one of the women I had a shift with, well, actually I ended up having to file a sexual harassment suit. Not suit, I don't know. You're a lawyer. Like, it's probably not a suit. I like told my boss. But so because she was sexually harassing me, I thought I was looking for some kind of like justice element to my summer. I was like new in university, but she was coming on to me in such an aggressive way, verbally, sometimes physically. And her rationale for us being together is that we're both Jewish females. So she thought that that meant like a sexual alliance. And I didn't understand. I was like, well, I know a lot of Jewish girls back home, and we haven't, like, I didn't know what to do with it. So I filed my suit. And her shift got switched. And there was like a lot of strange cultural things happening at Starbucks for me. And meanwhile, it was like the summer was ending and I had to go back to school. I was entering my second year at Concordia studying religion. And I was like, oh shit, I need to quit. How do I do that? Because they think I'm here forever because it's my dream job. And one day I'm going to want to adopt like a Starbucks baby, you know? And so I go in and I'm like, listen, I tell my boss, I'm like, this is actually the biggest lie I've ever told. I was like, listen, I'm really sorry. I actually need to leave the job because I got into this really prestigious program at a really prestigious university called Concordia. I got into the undergraduates religion program. Almost nobody can get into that. Anybody can get into it. It's the only thing I got into. I applied everywhere. U of T Scarborough was like, maybe you can come here, you're on the wait list. But Concordia was like, welcome on in. So I convinced these like coked out Starbucks employees that it's like a really big deal. I'm so sorry to let you down in the strip mall, But I got to go back. Like, how could I say no to such an opportunity to study religion at Concordia? They were really nice about it. They were like a bit upset. I'm like, my rationale was like, you could have just read my visa. Just saying. I come into work the next day. I'm closing out. There's a surprise party for me. Congratulations on your academic future. You're the smartest. We can't believe it. Like, just the worst. The worst lie. I was just riddled with guilt, but I couldn't tell them. I couldn't tell them that I was a terrible person because they were so high. So how could I like wreck their dreams? And there was like so many scones and stuff. And so I left. I completed my very super prestigious degree. And when I think it was a really long time ago, and I worked at Starbucks once again in Montreal, but I quit rapidly because I hated it. And it was like a Starbucks in chapters, and I had to speak in French, and I hate it. I think I mainly quit. This is like all you actually hardworking folk. Well, I'm the terrible person. I quit because I didn't like saying whipped cream in French. I thought crème fouettée. I was like, I just felt like such an asshole. Might as well put the fucking like pleated pants back on me. So I was like, I'm out. Fascist, whatever. So anyways, the whole point is that, what we've learned this evening is that challenging economic times, but at least I know that if I lose my amazing job that I have now, I can go back and work at Starbucks. Flat front khakis are available now, so that's all. Thanks.